Good evening, everybody. I'm Pierre Roberge, the Daily Trader. It is January 26th at 4:26 p.m. And we are going to take a look at Tesla stock from a technical analysis perspective. We are also going to take a quick look at the financial results that Tesla just released. Tesla closed up $19 at 2.07%. We closed at 937.41. Post-market, things are not stable right now. Post-market, we are down 22 bucks and 67 cents at 914.74. It has been fluctuating a lot since the release of the earnings report. So I think people are starting to digest what is happening, and there's a little bit of a surprise that maybe is throwing some people off. So I would not panic yet. I will just wait until tomorrow to see how people are digesting the earnings call. And Tesla is going to comment also on that earning call. So let's take a look at the financial summary. So I think things are pretty good. For the last quarter of 2021, Tesla had almost 16 billion in automotive revenues. So went from 12 billion to almost 16 billion. That's a lot. The gross profit, 4.8 billion. Gross margin grew just a little bit. It used to grow by 2% every quarter, but now it's plateauing a little bit. So maybe this is what is making some people scared a little bit. I don't know if they need to be. In terms of total revenue, 17 billion instead of 13 billion. So nice increase there. The gross profit are also increasing, and the GAAP gross margin at 27. Not too bad at 27. Operating expenses. This is the other area where people might be surprised a little bit. So in terms of operating expenses, it used to revolve around 1.5 billion, but now it's 2.2 billion this quarter. There's an explanation a little bit lower that is really satisfying. Income from operations, 2.6 billion. And look at the year-over-year increase, 354%. Operating margin, plateauing also a little bit here. Adjusted EBITDA, 4 billion. The margin at 23.1. So maybe this is what is making people scared a little bit, because during the last quarter, things were improving all over the place. But now, in terms of costs, it was a little bit harder for Tesla. So the big question is it something that's chronic, or is it something that's transient and is going to go away next quarter? Then net income attributable to common stockholders, 2.3 billion, non-GAAP 2.8, earnings per share 205. It used to be quite low. Look at this year-over-year increase of 754%. It's hard to argue against that. Net cash increasing. Capital expenditure is staying pretty much level. So this is nice. So it seems to indicate that the expenses for the two new factories are plateauing. So this is good. Free cash flow, 2.7 billion. And the cash grew to 17 billion. This is year over year, 47 billion in automotive revenues in 2021 compared to 27 billion in 2020. So that's an increase of 73%. So this is incredible growth. Incredible growth. Is there something else? The gross profit, 13 billion at a double. The gross margin at 29 for a car company to be able to make almost 30% gross margin on its cars. This is really incredible. The total revenue, 53 billion, gross profit, 13 billion, gross margin, 25 billion. The company is not doing bad. The company is doing pretty good. In terms of the additional expenses, we have an explanation right here. There's an increase in SG&A driven mainly by 340 million payroll tax on 2012 CEO award option exercise. So because Elon has exercised so many options, there's a payroll tax that Tesla had to pay for that. So 340 million. 340 million. So if we remove that 340 million here, so we would have an operating expense of less than 2 billion. So it would be at 1.9 something. So it would be a little bit more in line with what it used to be. So this should not scare the analysts because this is not going to happen every year. So this is a transient kind of thing. In terms of the car production, this is nice to see that the SNX production is ramping up. So 13,000 cars compared to 8,000 cars last quarter. So things are picking up. And also the same thing for the Model 3. So 292,000 compared to 228 for the last quarter. In terms of deliveries, okay, pretty much the same thing. Also, in terms of solar deployed, this is plateauing a little bit at 86, 92, 85, 83, 85. So this is flatlining a little bit. So this is a little bit disappointing. In terms of storage, it's even going down a little bit because last year we were at 1.5 gigawatt, and now we are at 978 megawatt. So decrease there. Okay. Is it really bad? Is it going to pick up eventually? Supercharger stations increasing, the connectors increasing. Aside from SNX, because of the refresh of the SNX, so they had to retool their factory. This is causing a year-over-year decrease in production. So as they are ramping up in 2002, and as Berlin and as Texas are ramping up also, we should have a great 2022 for Tesla. Let's go back to the stock. Okay, and we see that the post-market is already increasing at 920 now. We have a red candle today. The stock was very volatile. People got in, got out. So we have a high of 987. We have a low of 937. We are still making higher lows. That's the nice thing. And we are still making higher highs. So from that perspective, everything is good. Let's go see the 1 hour chart here. So on the 1 hour chart, we opened with a gap up today. So we opened with a gap up today. It was a neutral candle. Then for the next 4 hours, boom, boom, stock went up to 987.84, and look at how perfect it touched our resistance right here. Then at 2:30, the stock dropped like crazy. Some people got out of the stock and drove here, but then we recovered quite well, almost to our 940 low for the first hour. Let's look at the stochastic on the 1 hour chart. So in terms of stochastic, nothing bad. So stochastic is still above 60 at 64. So this means that this little move down was just a little bit of a pullback. But in terms of the trend on the 1 hour chart, this trend is staying the same. RSI not quite above 50 to indicate bullishness. MACD still crossover bullish because of this nice move up here. And DMI is still not convinced. So DMI, which is a lagging indicator, is not quite yet there. Let's go back to the daily chart and let's look at our indicators. So stochastic climbing up a little bit at 24. We see RSI looking like it's going to come back up. MACD still crossed over bearish and DMI is still bearish. So hopefully people will digest this. Tesla, it is at 937, which is above this great support at 899. So I am expecting the stock to slowly go to this point here and then make a decision whether it wants to go there or it wants to come back down a little bit before we do another move up here. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. You can become a YouTube member. You can click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great evening. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you, prochain.